Alright, you guys better know that I fucking love this league and I love you fools. Because I'm here making the episode. It's 11:37 on my Friday night. I just got done wrenching on my car outside. And I'm coming down with some kind of cold, in case you couldn't hear it in my voice. But I'm here because you wanted it. So you better appreciate it.
One, two, three, four.
Alright, let me start off with a little week in review from the eyes of Pandora's Cornhole. On Sunday, actually Saturday night, I'm working a company dinner event, shooting photos, but it's open bar, so towards the end of the night I start utilizing that privilege. Short notice, my boss tells me, hey, want to go to the Raiders game tomorrow? Cool, I'm in. So, after drinking that night, I woke up early to go to his house to start drinking before we went to the Raiders game. Went to the Raiders game. Vaughn was at that game, although we didn't go together. But it was his birthday. Happy birthday, Vaughn. Good game. Raiders won. Got hammered. Monday night, our planned meetup. Buccaneers game. Fucking sucks. We stop watching it. We focus on drinking. I get hammered. Tuesday night, I put a couple hours in on my car. Wednesday night, middle of the workday, boom, 4 Golden Knights tickets. Do you want them? Fuck yeah. As you know from the group chat, I shouted it out, went with Edwin, Eric, and Chef. Was a fun ass time. Got hammered with Chef until 2 in the morning. Wednesday night is when I normally would have filmed the podcast. Thursday morning, woke up, worked a full day, came home, too exhausted, needed to rest. Turns out I'm actually coming down with some kind of cold, so that's why my Thursday morning hangover was amplified. And then today, woke up, worked a full day, came home, wrenched on my car. Everything should be done after this weekend, but I had no other choice but to film this tonight. Because filming this podcast is like a nighttime thing for me. You know what I mean? It's not a daytime thing. Also, if I filmed it Saturday, then it would come out Saturday night, and who knows if you would even have time to watch it before the Sunday games. And I guess through all the hullabaloo, Tom Brady had led a come-from-behind victory to finish with the score of 17-16, which is actually the exact same score that happened on the Thursday night game. Baker Mayfield getting his first time playing for the Rams against the Raiders, down 3-16 with 3 minutes left. And the Raiders, in classic defensive choking fashion, blew it. And the final score was 17-16. What a strange coincidence. Derek Carr didn't cry during the media interview after this game, but his eyeliner did look a little bit smudged up. So I have my suspicions. Side note, those of you that missed out on the gathering on Monday, was quite a time. We got to see some drunken lady falling out of her chair. This dude was chasing this other dude around the bar trying to beat his ass. Now I'm going to be moving through this episode pretty quick because I do this shit for free. So I'm just going to get right into the matchup recap. But first off, let me give a shout out to the Dub Club. Raul, Donnie, Christo, Henson, and Eric. In the first matchup review this week, Raul clapped my cheek, which makes us 1-1 on the season, by the way, because Jimmy Garoppolo stepped on the field and broke his shit. Not that that would have been enough, because Derrick Henry also pooped in his pants. In the meantime, how the fuck does this dude have Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams? Man, and I had to watch Devontae Adams clap my cheeks in front of my eyes. Like that long touchdown flea flicker play, I had to watch that happen in front of my eyes. And I cheered because it was cool, but right after I was like, fuck. In the next matchup, Donnie served a minor clapping to Eric just below the 30-point threshold. Jalen Hurts going off with 40 points. It looks like Gus Edwards and Jacoby Myers all pooped their pants for Edwin's side, so they made sure that he wouldn't go away with the dub. In the next matchup review, Eric narrowly defeated Greg, which Eric kind of has a paradox team, right? Or maybe it's just Lamar Jackson. Because earlier in the season, Lamar Jackson put up 50 points for Eric and he lost. And this week he put up 1.34, but Eric still won. So I guess that's a little return on karma, I guess, for you from Lamar. Courtesy of Lamar. In the next matchup, Christo was able to pull a dub over Vaughn, 106-86, with both quarterbacks doing good, but on Christo's side, Tony Pollard, A.J. Brown, and honestly the Eagles' defense all pulled their weight and made sure that he pulled away with the dub. In the last matchup review, another mid-sized clapping. Cody got defeated by Henson, 117-95. Joe Burrow, 34 points, defeating the Kansas City Chiefs, which Donnie was happy about. Everyone at the Raiders game was happy about. Greg was bummed. Josh Jacobs and DK Metcalf both hauled in 18 points for Henson's team, which helped him beat Cody by 22 points. What time is it? All right, let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. All right, a lot of action in the league. We got 3 people that swapped 3 spots, and we got 2 people that swapped 2 spots. So a lot of spot swapping this week. Up at the top, Raul was able to grab first, leapfrogging over second from third last week. Chef dropped down in the second. Donnie hopped up in the third, jumping through 3 spots. Eric also went up to 4th overall. I went down 3 spots to 5th overall, and Henson jumped up 3 spots to 6th overall. Christo, with his dub, jumped up 1 spot to 7th, while Vaughn and Edwin both declined into 8th and 9th. Greg, shout out to the homie, stayed in 10th. And since there's no guest on the show this week, I'll just go ahead and do the clapped and close segment myself. Starting off with Cody versus Christo. Looks like Christo's relying on Dak Prescott and Tony Pollard to pull through. I do see that Tony Pollard gets a lot of points because the Houston defense is so horrible that no offense ever has to throw on them, which means that Dak Prescott is expected to have a mediocre performance. On the other side of the ball is Chef, who has the Cowboys defense, who is just expected to prolapse the anus of the Houston offense this week. So we'll see how that one ends up. My prediction is going to be close, but I see Chef taking it away. In the next matchup, Henson is playing against Greg, and unfortunately, I'm going to predict a clapping here. It looks like Henson is already on his merry jolly way, with Josh Jacobs scoring 17 and his kicker scoring... Am I seeing that right? The kicker scored 12 points? God damn. Well, best of luck to you, Greg, in the last matchup of this season, but unfortunately, I think the odds are against your favor. In the next matchup, Donnie is playing against Vaughn. It looks like Vaughn is going to roll the dice on Travis Homer since the Seattle backfield is pretty banged up. On the other hand, Saquon Barkley is dealing with a neck injury for Donnie's team, so who knows how that situation is going to end up. Once again, Donnie has Zeke Elliott, which the running game against Houston always goes really well. But it looks like Vaughn also has Mike Williams on his first week back. Against Miami, I think Justin Herbert's going to have to throw the ball. Hopefully that's a shootout game, and maybe we'll see if he can pull up. But I think this one's going to be decently close. Not a big clapping, but I can see Donnie pulling away with it. But that's not what I'm rooting for. In the next matchup, Raul is playing against Eric. And I think this one is going to be pretty close because, as I'm seeing, he already started Devontae Adams, who had a very pedestrian 7-point performance. That's not a very good start. I also don't think that Deshaun Watson is going to step back onto the field in his second game after that pathetic first performance and blow the water out of Cincinnati or even keep up with them at all. Plus, supposedly, Uno's going to get his revenge this week, so we'll see. But overall, I think this one might be a kind of close, but more like a medium clapping for Eric over Raul. And the last game that I'm going to go over is my own matchup versus Edwin. he already has his Raiders defense, which had 11 points, which is decent. It's not what people expected because of that Baker Mayfield comeback. But overall, since this is my matchup, I'm not going to predict I'm going to clap him. I'm just going to go ahead and say I think this one might be close, and I hope I win. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, I have to go edit together about 30 separate clips of me talking, put graphics over the top, put an intro, put an outro. But I do it all out of love. This league is like my little baby, and I feel like this year I'm seeing it grow up a little, and that makes me happy. So best of luck to every one of you fuckers in this last week of the season. This is going to be the most pivotal, crucial week to decide who's going to make it in the playoffs, who's going to get a first-round bye, and ultimately how things will unfold. So, may the best rosters win, fuck the Eagles, and I'll catch you next week on the Fantasy Freestyle Podcast.